Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of January 30th. We're going to jump right in here, Scorpio, and we're going to see what is going on in your general energies, in your current general energies. You have this Endurance and Secrets card. So I feel that for some of you that both of these cards are you, by the way. Sun in Scorpio and Venus in Scorpio on both of those cards. So I kind of feel like you're getting to the end of a long journey in some ways with this energy, and I do feel like this is encouraging you to not give up. The Ten of Wands doesn't necessarily represent not giving up, but you know the whole point of the Ten of Wands is that he's carrying a harvest that he was about to have, or he's about to have, I should say, and he's about to reach his home in the background. So you know it's like one of those things that he planted those wands as a harvest. So I feel like there is a harvest coming in for you. But it's like you need to make sure to not give up at this time is what I would say. So, and sorry, I just switched decks and this deck is upside down. So if you're wondering why I'm flipping these cards over, that would be why. But let's see here, Scorpio. Again, I feel like you need to keep pushing here. I don't really feel like this is bad secrets, by the way. I feel like there are things that you need to learn that could make you very successful. I do also feel it's not like secrets, right? It's not like some major secret that's coming out here, but you do have the Hermit going all the way over to the Ace of Swords. It kind of strikes me as like an inner truth, or a truth that needs to be exposed on your end, because you have the Hermit. The Hermit, he has the star in his lantern right here, and it's like something that he needs to reveal, and it's the thing that could set himself free. He is actually stuck at the top of this mountain. His feet are frozen at the top of the mountain, but if he put that lantern down by his feet, he would be set free. So the story of the Hermit is that actually he needs to set himself free by shining his inner light. And I kind of feel like that's the truth, the secret that is coming out, some sort of inner truth, something that you want to do. And again, I feel like it's you that I've been saying this to for a very long time, that there could be some truth that might not be a conventional truth, but it might be something that you really want to do. It's like maybe you want to be a pizza delivery driver, but maybe that's what your heart is telling you to do. And it might sound ridiculous, and you might be saying, how can I make a living being a pizza delivery driver, even though that's where my heart belongs? And as I've been saying to everyone, we live in a crazy-ass time. If there was ever a time where you could be a pizza delivery driver, you could start a YouTube channel about it, documenting all your experiences, start a podcast, interview other pizza delivery drivers. Like, where there's a will, there's a way, is what I'm trying to say. I guarantee you, I guarantee you, you could make like a six-figure salary by doing what I just said. If your heart was truly in it, right? As ridiculous as that might sound, there are kids who are doing it now. Like today, there's like some kid I saw on like TikTok who works at Subway or something like that, and he's got like millions of followers. Trust me, he probably makes a pretty penny. So what I would say here is like you shouldn't be judging your inner star, your inner light, for whatever it is, because you know it's like you've been carrying this for a long time. There's something that you've been carrying for a long time that needs to be revealed here, Scorpio. And, you know, you have the Magician here, and for whatever reason, I feel like the Magician is saying it's time to get started, or it's time to reveal something. The Magician is also a card of reinvention. He has this Ouroboros right here, the snake eating its own tail. And the Ouroboros, again, represents reinvention or reinventing yourself. I do feel it's saying that literally by exposing what you truly want to do, it's going to lead to a major change right here with this Death card. So whatever this is, it needs to come out. It's going to be different for all of you. For some of you, it could be you telling a person that you're interested in them as well. Ace of Pentacles wanting to pop out there. So I don't take pop-outs, but it is interesting. You know, it could be anything. But like whatever this is, whatever's being revealed is like going to change your life. And I'm not trying to be like clickbaity here, but that's what the reading is saying. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Four of Pentacles. Yes, things are boring. Things are boring. Like I realized it this morning, Scorpio. I woke up and I'm like, you know, I had that song, Every Day is Exactly the Same, you know, playing over and over and over again in my head. And I was like, okay, it's time to switch it up. It's time to change the routine. It's time to do things differently and add some more excitement to life. So, you know, maybe you're in the same mood as I am, right? Maybe you're not as crazy as I am, but, you know, you could be. And, you know, again, I feel like it's time to have that reinvention. Literally, you have the Four of Pentacles here with the Death card. And the King of Pentacles, by the way, is a card of convention, which is the way things have always been done. So something has to change here. I think you know it, though. And here you go. With the Hermit, you have the Seven of Pentacles. change in direction. Seven of Pentacles is my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is what, are you getting what you deserve out of what you've got or with what you're doing every single day? And for some of you, the answer might be yes. So then, of course, there's no reason to do anything. But if the answer is no, if you know that you are capable of more, if your inner truth is telling you, you know what, I need to start the Pizza Boy podcast. I need to start documenting my Pizza Boy delivery routes and tell crazy stories about the people I meet and all the things that go on. I promise you, you could get rich doing that. I promise you, maybe not rich, but I promise you it would be better than a full-time career if that's where your heart is. I don't know. It could be something else, but I'm just giving you examples here. With the Magician, you have the Ace of Swords. Yes, the truth will set you free here, Scorpio. Plain and simple. Your truth will set you free. Not telling the truth. The only person you're telling the truth to is yourself. You're not telling the truth to anyone else here. So, to me, this says the victory is in your own inner truth. You have this Bobcat spirit next. This is coming up in the area of messages from your future self. And this card says life is a mystery. Yes, it certainly is. It's like if you told me years ago when I was a little kid that I'd be making money on YouTube, I didn't even know what YouTube was, right? I was a nerd. I played with bugs in my backyard when I was like 10 years old. So, and guess what? You bet your ass, Scorpio, that if I started a channel playing with bugs in my backyard right now, I guarantee you I'd have 100,000 subscribers. Maybe not like quickly, but I could do it. So again, if that's your passion, go for it. But again, if you told me when I was 10 years old, this is what I'd be doing, I'd say you're nuts. No way, right? Not in the plans. So I feel that. I'm not doing this to talk about myself or to talk about pizza. Somebody said pizza today, and now I'm on this like tangent. But what I would say is I'm saying this because I feel like you have something that you need to reveal. And again, life is a mystery because maybe you never thought that it would be possible to do the things that you want to do this way. I wanted to see what the next card is. You have this Chameleon Spirit, and it literally says act as if. So I feel like anything you can do to kind of like step into the energy of what you want will lead to success. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and the Knight of Wands here. Yeah, Knight of Wands I feel sometimes just says, kind of like dip your toes in the water, have an experience, and I feel like your future self wants you to do that. The Knight of Wands, he's also very spontaneous. He doesn't really care how he necessarily gets somewhere. He kind of just figures it out. He's willing to make changes. He's willing to do things differently. He's willing to be spontaneous as well. So embracing that spontaneous energy would be beneficial, I feel. You also have the Two of Swords. I always say that she needs to get to this new island over here. That new island is new. It's definitely an obstacle. It's meant to represent an obstacle on this card, but it's a good obstacle. It's not a bad obstacle. It's an obstacle because she's never been there before. If you want to start a YouTube channel, you've never done it before, it's an obstacle. But it's not necessarily a bad obstacle. It could be a very good one, but you just don't know yet because you haven't like dipped your toes in the water. And that's what this whole reading is encouraging you to do. I also feel for some of you, it's like, if you want love, I feel like there could be a person coming in for you. It could be a fire sign or an earth sign. It could be any sign, of course. This is a general reading. It could be a Virgo as well. You've had a Virgo all up in your business for like quite a while, but it could be another Scorpio as well, I'm getting. But it could be any sign. That's not the point. Something needs to come out. I'm telling you right now, if someone is interested in you, they need to open their mouth. If you're interested in someone, you need to open your mouth. I'm pretty sure it was you, like a few weeks ago, where I said, I get this like scenario playing in my head for you where it's like you have a person you're interested at work. It's like you're interested in them. They're interested in you. The two of you don't know that you're interested in each other, but everybody in the office knows that you're interested in each other, right? They're all making jokes behind your back. So it's time to open your mouth, right? Or somebody needs to open their mouth in this situation. I'm not sure who, but whatever. I don't know. Go for it, Scorpio. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Pentacles. You also have this, here you go. This card wanted to kind of pop out there, the Wheel of Fortune. So there could be some sort of change in your fortunes. Also could be a change in you being single. So Nine of Pentacles is a card of independence, and it could say that there's some sort of change coming in that part of your life. With the Two of Swords, you have the Seven of Cups. You have a little bit of overthinking energy. I do get this energy of needing to be adventurous with that Knight of Wands especially. Seven of Cups, it's like there's good things and bad things in the Seven of Cups. And, it's like true for anything that you get into. It's like a relationship could lead to the happiest marriage of your life, or it could lead to a trip to the psych ward, right? But that's life. Same thing with business. It could lead to $1 billion, or it could lead to, Skid Row. Who knows, right? But really, is that going to happen? Probably not. So I feel like this is encouraging you to take a risk. The reason I say this is because there's fears here. You have two sevens right next to each other. Two sevens to me represents internal fears that don't exist. So it's definitely time to let the fears go. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Strength card. This is a card of kind of, taming your inner beast. Normally, the lady on the Strength card has her hands in the lion's mouth, and the lion, its tail is between its legs. And it kind of represents the fact that she is taming herself. She is taming her inner beast, her inner monster, her inner voice, whatever you want to call it. So I feel like a lot of you could be kind of like taming yourself at this time. I also like this card because I always say, who in the right mind would stick their hands in a lion's mouth? The answer is nobody. So it's kind of like a card of showing off in a good way. It's like saying, if you're starting your pizza boy delivery channel, it's like people might call you crazy until you're making like $1 million a year doing it. Then everybody wants to be your friend. That's kind of like what the Strength card is saying to me. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this card that says, don't stop living your life because of someone else. Yes, super important right now. We actually saw this with the Nine of Pentacles with 10 of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. Then you have the Death card right next to it. It kind of gives me the vibes of maybe kind of like allowing a breakup to affect a certain part of your life or whatever. So be careful of that. You have this Leadership card. It says, you're stepping into a role as a leader. You are ready. It says, your career will improve once you accept and step into your power. Yes, I think your power is in not needing to know all the answers. Sometimes I feel with the Two of Swords that it's like we're waiting for something. We're waiting for the environment. We're waiting for answers. We're waiting for something to say like, yes, now is the time. But that's not going to happen. And I keep saying the Star card, we have Pluto going into Aquarius, which is the Star card basically. It's not accurate, but the Star is Aquarius. And the whole point of that is that you have to be your own little star. You have to take the lead and do things on your own and figure it out. I would also be careful of other people's opinions with this energy. You have the Death card, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups here. For some of you, by the way, this is meant to be the row of the unexpected. Honestly, I don't feel anything unexpected. As I always say, it's like if I don't feel it, I'm not going to force it. And I don't feel anything unexpected here other than, again, what might be a tiny little bit unexpected is that someone is actually interested in you. A person that you are interested in, but it's like someone needs to open their mouth here, and someone is too worried about the past. I'm not sure if it's you or them. It's like someone has been disappointed too many times. It could be both of you, and now that I say that, I'm having major deja vu. I'm pretty sure I said this to you in your recent reading, where it's like, I see two people coming together. They're both like worrying about exactly the same thing. That's not going to happen between the two of you. I think it's one of those moments where it's like, again, I don't really see this as a love reading, but again, if you're attracting love, which it does look like some of you are, it's like you've both been through the same thing for a reason because you had to learn that lesson. You're coming together now because you learned that lesson, but you're both worried about the lesson, if that makes sense. Like maybe you both dealt with a cheater in the past, and now you're both worried that this new person, you're both worrying that each other's going to cheat. I always suggest communication, which we see twice here. Ace of Swords, Ace of Swords. I feel like communicating about this issue will solve the problem. Someone has to open up here, with the Knight of Pentacles. He's being too cautious. He's not making any moves. So that's what I'd say there. I also feel progress here. I'm not a big fan of the Knight of Pentacles. Having said that, I read intuitively, and intuitively, I feel really good about this Knight of Pentacles for you, just because I just do. He can represent progress. He can represent forward movement. Normally, to me, he represents no movement. But for you, for whatever reason, I feel big movement. It's probably because you're showing up here as yourself. I feel you are showing up as this guy right here. It's like you're calling all the shots. You're showing up as the Death Rider. I feel like you have very pure intentions. I also feel like you're focusing on the right things. This right here is a white rose on his banner. And on the Death card, the white rose, it kind of represents that like pinprick of light that chases away the darkness, right? But I feel like what it's saying is you're focused on the light. You're not focused on the darkness. We actually see another white rose here in your reading, which is right here on the Fool card at the end. His white rose kind of represents pure intentions. It's like the reason he is doing things is out of purity, because it's truly what his heart is telling him to do, which your whole entire reading was about. So again, I feel like if you're operating from that heart space this week, you are going to have a very good week, clearly. Yes, with the Death card, you have the Queen of Wands, needing to be bold, needing to be assertive. I really feel like you have to go for things. I feel like this is true for everyone, but it definitely seems to be extra true for you, because you always get the Queen of Wands with me, I'm pretty sure. And it definitely says you're very attractive at this time, by the way, Scorpio, so, go for it. Number one. Number two, Queen of Wands, she really, really goes for things that she wants. She doesn't, she doesn't like worry. She kind of, let's put it this way. There is no other way than plan A for her. She has a plan A. She doesn't have a plan B. And I'm not suggesting you don't have a plan B, but it's like her only way to success is to have the success that she imagines, and she really goes for it. So I feel like embracing that level of confidence could be very helpful for you. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the King of Swords here. Could be an older person in love if you're attracting love. Could also be an air sign. Or they could just come off as a King of Swords type person, quiet, reserved, but very knowledgeable, having a lot of wisdom. They could be the same age as you, but they could just carry themselves in a very mature way. So I kind of feel like this could be a person. Also another card of the truth, and kind of like this reading is saying to me the truth will set you free, but it's like your truth will set you free to yourself. With the Four of Cups, you have the High Priestess. Very intuitive time for you, I feel. I think it's going to be a very intuitive time in general. We have Neptune and Pisces. We're going to have Saturn moving into Pisces as well. Saturn and Pisces is a little bit more realistic, of course, and kind of like a difficult position for Saturn to be. Not bad. I'm not worried about it, and I'm a Pisces. I actually am kind of excited about Saturn moving into Pisces because I think it'll bring some of your like intuition down to earth, or you might have some crazy dreams in the future. Or maybe you've been having crazy dreams, but you're like not sure what to do. And for whatever reason, I'm getting Saturn and Pisces here. But I feel like it's the thing that could help you kind of manifest your ideas on Earth or your plans on Earth or whatever it is that you want to do. So love it. I also feel, again, the High Priestess, she normally has no roof over her head. And I frequently say that it kind of represents the fact that whatever she's planning on doing has unlimited potential. There's no roof over her head. Literally beyond the sky is the limit. There are no limits. So some of you might be getting into a situation where you just don't see how far it can go. Next, you have the Serpent card. It says a sly and subtle approach is needed. Yeah, I would definitely keep your ideas to yourself. I said the same thing to Cancer, and it shows up here as well with whatever this card was, one of these cards, the leadership card or whatever. So I think it would be a good time to do that. You could also be making a lot of changes, like we talked about reinvention with the Magician, and going up to the Death card there. So you could be changing on a personal level. And, I feel like this is kind of just saying maybe you're doing it behind the scenes. You have the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Fool. I'll tell you what, this is like a hop, skip, and a jump right into a victory is what this looks like to me. I'm not saying it's going to be like easy. I feel like it's a journey that you're on. Knight of Wands, that Serpent card. Again, obviously if you're going through this transformation, reinvention, not going to happen overnight. But I think your intentions are in the right place because it's the truth. Because it's like what you're meant to do. This dog right here is a Maltese, and they were originally dogs of like royalty. Only the royalty had these dogs. But what's popping into my head for you, for whatever reason, is it's not like royalty. It's almost like something is like ordained, like something is like meant to be part of your life. And, I think it's almost as if it's, spiritual royalty that you're meant to do something. It's like you're being guided at this time as well. You have this Ace of Swords again, so you have the Ace of Swords twice, representing the truth, but also a victory. So I feel like there's a big victory coming in for you here, Scorpio, with this Ace of Swords. And you have the King of Pentacles. So King of Pentacles is a card of convention. Like I said, the way things have always been done. And so I'd be opening up to new ways of doing things, which I think is true for everyone because of Pluto and Aquarius. Even though we don't have Pluto and Aquarius yet, I don't care. We're going to be dealing with the energy for the next 20 years, at least until 2044, if you want to be super technical about it. But I would be trying new things. I feel like you're improving your finances here as well. Let's see. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Swords. I would be careful of the past person. Some of you could be seeing a person getting karma. King of Swords is law and order, and, kind of represents karma. And you have the Wheel of Fortune as well. So you could be seeing a past person getting your karma. Again, it's another clue to me that I feel like you're attracting a person who went through something exactly the same as you. I just keep getting that if you want love. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Five of Wands. Card of conflict and competition. I call this card Indiana Jones all the time. To me, really, if we boil the Five of Wands down, it's a card of like going on some sort of crazy adventure and finding a treasure, just like the Indiana Jones movies. So I'm not saying your life is like a movie, but maybe it is kind of. But don't be afraid to embrace the journey, the excitement, something new. Again, I think it's much more exciting in life to have an exciting story than it is to just like live a boring life, right? And that popped into your reading earlier where it's like, I feel like you're wanting excitement. With the Fool, you have the Hierophant here. Could be marriage coming in for you in the future, but really I feel like it's saying think outside the box. The Hierophant to me sometimes can represent like outside the box thinking, or just needing to come up with like, new ways or different ways of doing things. But Scorpio, we're going to pull 3 questions for you now. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. If you don't have questions, that's fine. You can feel free to pause the video. But no, what I was going to say is I'm going to put all 3 cards together at the end, like a personalish reading. If you do have questions, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. You can ask up to 3 questions in your head, obviously, and these are going to be yes/no answers, and I'm going to answer them right now. So for question number 1, pause if you haven't already, if you need to think. You have the Queen of Pentacles. I would definitely say yes. Queen of Pentacles is an increase in your resources. I'm also getting moving for some reason. Queen of Pentacles doesn't really represent moving, but intuitively, I get that some of you could be asking about a move. I would say yes. Could also be like a work move. Maybe you're going from one place to another. For question number 2, I would say yes, you have the Emperor. So definitely taking the lead. We saw that here in your reading. There was a lot about leadership or taking the lead, but I would also say yes. I also feel like it could be an Aries or a person who has Aries in their chart. Again, that King of Swords, it's kind of funny because sometimes I do feel like the King of Swords is very much like the Emperor. They're kind of similar. They take action, they have knowledge, wisdom. Like when we're talking about the high vibration versions of both. So yes. For question number 3, I would say if you do your research. I always forget to call these yes, no, maybe, because really tarot isn't set in stone, can't control your life, it can't make anything happen for you. But what I would say is for question number 3, I would say if you do your research, then I feel you're going to be successful. Page of Swords is like a card of being a detective, and I feel like it's saying if you don't do that, then no. So there you go. Putting this all together, I feel like your finances could be greatly increasing if you come up with creative solutions on like how, for some reason I'm getting Empress energy on the Emperor, which is like creativity. I feel like, again, I gave you the example of the pizza driver joke. Of course, I've been thinking about pizza all day, but what I will tell you is that, I think that if you're creative, you could come up with a lot of ways to make money doing what you're doing right now or doing something that you really want to do. It's going to require elbow grease. It's going to require an adventure. But if you do it, you're going to be very successful. So this is a really good reading here, Scorpio. Love it. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.